Hello, hello, and welcome to the movement. We are the movement, a motivational organization veered to educate minds, empower, nurture, and transform. We are a movement to move. We're so excited that you decided to join us here tonight. We want to help you thrust into your purpose so that everyone can start living their best life and win. We're winning. We want to see everybody else win. We want everybody else to know every formula. And one of the things that we like to do is come here on Wednesday nights. Normally tonight is Thursday. We have to change it just for this week only. But we're so glad that you all decided to join us, and you didn't take, Wednesday passed and that's over. So that's it. But we're glad you decided to show up, those who showed up tonight and those who will be watching later. Thank you again for joining us, and we are ready to go into our discussion. I'm going to pause and let Annette greet everyone.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. Sometimes life throws a curve, and we have to have that Kim anointing. We have to keep it moving. So thank you so much for being on tonight.
All righty. Well, I'm sure everybody's seen tonight's topic, and we're like, what in the world is this? Well, every person who walks the planet Earth has been at some point or another wounded. You've been hurt, some more than others. And sometimes those wounds and those experiences have a way of sticking with us and affecting relationships and other experiences. And if we, sometimes even if it's intentional, and sometimes it's unintentional, but we have a hard time forgetting about the past. And I've noticed how past pain, I'm speaking from experience, how past pain in my life can creep up and make me insecure and feel, strange about certain situations. If you've been through something with somebody, you're like, oh no, I'm not doing that because the last time I'm not going through this. I'm not going to get into another relationship with a person because of that last time I'm not going to get married again because the last time, and we start doing that, and it just creeps up, and it can make you hesitant to trust people when they had nothing to do with the pain, or they've done nothing to undermine your trust. And it could even make you doubt God, because sometimes we lack forgiveness, and then we get mad and like, oh God, let this happen to me. I prayed and I prayed and I prayed. Yep. And then we start doubting God, and then we get mad, and that's what happens. But, we don't have to remain stuck and holding on to the baggage from our past pain, because what happens when we do that is that it impacts our present. And we have to live like the Bible says that, we have to live like a new creation every day. We have to put on, we have to get up every day, and we have to wake up knowing that we have new mercies, so that we're not walking around in that dysfunction. Yeah. Because it is a dysfunction when we walk around and we're wounded and we're carrying that stuff. But sometimes, it's easier said than done. People say, oh, just get over it. Just get over it. And it's hard to do that because we're wounded. We're hurt. And a lot of us know what that's like. So, I don't want to take it for granted, but, some people, I see people all the time like, ooh, I'm good. I ain't never been through. And that's not true. You've experienced something. There's some type of hurt, some type of pain. It may not be the same thing. You may have not been married, so you don't know what it feels like to have a divorce. Or you may not know what it feels like to have, an estranged relationship with family. You may not know what it feels like to be betrayed by a friend. You may not know what it feels like to be hurt by your church, or by someone you thought had your back. But at some point in life, we've all experienced it. So I want everyone who, if you truly have and you want to be honest, I want you to type in, I've been there. Just type in, I've been there. Because I've been there. I've been down almost every one of those walks. I've been there. And, you may not have experienced it the way I experienced it. And I may not have experienced it the way LaShavia experienced it. And LaShavia may not have experienced the way Yolanda, and Yolanda experience might not be Carrie's, and Carrie's might not be Annette's. But at some point in your life, you've experienced it. And I want you to do something else, because there are some people who, even right now, you may not want to share, but you may be experiencing some pain. And if you're experiencing that hurt and that pain, I want you to type in, you are not alone. Because you see all of those people that typed in, I've been there, I've been there, I've been there. And you can come back and say, you know what? I've been there. You're not alone. Because we have all experienced it at some point or another. We have had those moments. We've had those dark days. And, you know, I had looked up a few things, and y'all should know me by now. I always got some tricks up my sleeve. I looked up a few things when we started dealing with this topic, because it's one of those things that could go really well, or it could go kind of bad. You know, but I don't I don't want to say it can go bad, but it can, like, you know, not necessarily turn out the way you picture it. And sometimes we picture something a certain way, and then it comes out the opposite. I know everybody's experienced that before. So I thought I'd add a little comedic kind of thing to it, because I have a cousin who's a singer, and she wrote a whole bunch of songs, that we are all familiar with. She wrote a whole trilogy. We used to sing these songs. I'm like, God, we would be in pain for about 20, 30 minutes of her show. That's all we sang about was pain. And this is where it started. And, you know, she shared her experiences. That's just the way things were. And then she went on into, everybody know this one. I see you nodding in that.
Yeah, girl.
Flashback. Who had their screen open doing like this? And then it's like, it didn't stop there, because then it had all the songs. And she didn't stop there. We went through all of these songs, from pain to after the pain to no pain, no gain, then from pain to joy. I was like, we finally got to some joy. Because we went through all that pain, but then I had to go to my friend here. Had to go to Frank and Beverly with that joy and pain, because we may experience pain, but we don't stay there. And that's what we're going to talk about to you guys tonight. So tonight we took it in that place. We wanted to go somewhere and deal with exactly what, like what we experience. This is what we experience. So I'm going to share, and I'm going to go into our presentation now, and we're going to go into our discussion. And our discussion tonight, right here.
Yes.
Because some of us have been right here in this moment where you don't know what to do, and you feel just like this.
Yeah.
And it seems like it just won't go away. Why does it still hurt so much? You're still there, but your heart got a big old Band-Aid on it. And it's called pain. And a lot of us experience it. A lot of you say, I've been there. And for those who might be there right now, you're not alone. You are not alone.
LeBron.
Somebody got their mic open. Can everybody make sure their mic is muted?
She did.
So Now we're dealing with the pain. And there are so many different areas that we deal with pain, and I can't even possibly name all of the areas.
Yeah.
But just to take you down the road, just to kind of see, you know, you're not alone, and other people have experienced what you're experiencing. And like I say, your situation may not be their situation, and you may not have felt it the way they did. But trust me, everybody's got a story in here somewhere. Loss of loved ones. Now, this is a hard one because there's some situations that we experience when it comes to death that it's very, very hard to get past.
Yeah, you're right.
And there's, you know, some people I can't even begin to understand their story because I don't know how they carried what they carried. I don't know what type of regret they may be living with. I don't know how, you know, how prayed up or how accepting they are of God's will. Everybody is in a different place because I know I see some people. There's one lady I know, she lost her husband very tragically, and, you know, the father of her children. And about 3 weeks later, they were back in voice lessons. I was like, wow. And they didn't look like they had experienced what they experienced. On the outside, they appeared to be very much together. And I probably would have still been in a funk. Yeah. Because that's a lot to deal with, especially when it's the only person I've been with since high school. She had been with this man since high school, and they were in their mid-30s, just starting their life. One child, 16, one was 14, and the other one's 8. 3 kids at home, and he gets tragically killed in an instant like that on his way to work in a car accident. And it was a huge shock. Very healthy, very involved father. So I can even explain, you know, how I can look at her and see that she's that strong because everybody's different. But then there are some people that are still be balled up in a knot even a year later, and they're carrying their pain differently.
Yeah.
I carried different levels of pain. I remember looking back over my life, and I always thought that I would fall apart when I felt like the family chain broke. You know, that family where we have my mom and dad who were still alive, and all of the siblings and all of the grandchildren and the grandchildren, and we had not experienced a death within that bond until we lost my nephew when he was 9. That was the first one. And it like shook me because I actually, you know, watched him take his last breath. So it was a very shaking story. You know, when I look back on that story in my life, it shook me and it affected me for a long time. It took me a long time to get past that image and past that feeling. And more so than for him, I grieved for his mother who had to bury her child when she was only 25 years old. So that was like a very painful experience. And then the chain, you know, at that point, the chain was broken. And then a few years later, my brother passed. That was the first sibling. And then my dad passed. And then, you know, recently my mom. So I've experienced, you know, each situation on a different level. And the loss of a mom is very, very painful. And you feel it for a long time. Mm. At least I can speak for myself. And I know, Annette, you've experienced it. And you and I have talked about this a lot. About how you can't explain to anybody what that feels like. It's you know, it's unfortunate to say you have to go through it to understand what it feels like, because you just don't know. You don't realize how lost you are. Like I was talking to another friend of mine the other day, and she said, it's like I don't know what to do with my hands. It's like one of those things. Like I don't know what to do. I don't feel settled. I have another friend who just lost her father, and she's like, I feel weird. I'm looking for direction, and it's not here. So those are losses that can cause you that pain. And we're going to go in deeper as far as how to get past it. But I'm just identifying different types of pain that we experience. We also experience pain of failed relationships, like a failed marriage. We're always looking for that to be the way it was. And estranged family situations, friendships. I have had experiences with friendships that have been more painful to me sometimes than death. And I couldn't understand, I didn't know how to place that. And I think the reaction to the pain It says more about where you are as far as your emotional state. And sometimes the level of disappointment can mask itself as pain, when it's more so that you're angry and disappointed in the situation, and then it compounds on top of the hurt. So it makes the hurt just different. It may not be worse and you may not carry it, but then sometimes we can become bitter. And that's a whole different type of pain, because you trusted somebody and then they betrayed you. So then you're angry that they betrayed you. Then you feel like a fool because you trusted them and believed them. And all you have to go by is their word. See, when family do stuff, we can brush that off sometimes. Like, shoot, I ain't studying her. Because you know what? At the end of the day, that's still your brother, that's still your sister, that's still your family. And you can't choose family. But we choose friends. We choose a mate. We choose those relationships. And sometimes when we make that choice and that person betrays or hurts us, our pain has become compounded by the disappointment and the fact that I chose you and you hurt me. I let you in to a place that I don't let people, and you betrayed me. So it's a compounded pain. That's some pain for you.
Yeah.
And there's, it's
right.
Betrayal is something. And I think it's because you feel like you failed yourself. You feel like you failed yourself. Like, I failed me in this. So then we have past pain experiences. And these are those experiences that we don't want to let go of. Oh, the worst thing to do is to hold on to something. You think you're over it until something else happens. And then you be like, just like the last time.
You're right.
But I thought we got past that. You did this to me the last time. I remember that time back in 1997. I'm like, what? Really? You still holding that? And you're still holding it. You don't even realize you're holding it because you have refused to release that pain. It more so, it made you angry. Remember, it was compounded. So it's masked with a whole bunch of other stuff. And because you never let go of it, it's just, all this stuff is just in you. What'd you say?
I say, I wonder, do we hold on to the past pain is because that's all we have left of that?
Sometimes it's that way.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing, honestly, a lot of times there's really nothing left of the relationship, but we're holding on to that because that's all that's there. And it's like, and then we let them back in, and then they do it again. And it's like, see, here we go again. Here we go again. You did that the last time. So why did you even give the person another chance to do that? Yeah. You keep giving them more chances to just pour salt in the wound.
Yeah.
The wound trying to heal, but all you do is rip the bandage off and pour salt in it. Then we go with that liar again in the bathroom having a fight with himself. It's like it's that self-inflicted pain. But a lot of times we'll hold on to those past experiences because and it's there, and they're still digging. They're digging at your core. They're digging deep into you, and it starts to affect everything.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to identify one more, and this is one that is very, very, very real, and we don't realize how painful this is, and that is rejection.
Mm.
Nobody likes being passed over, but you have to believe, and you have to know and understand that it's going to happen in life at some time or another. It's a part of life, but it's not the end of life. But rejection is very real. Rejection happens. And just because one person decided that they don't want to deal with or be a part of your situation, or that they have decided not to allow you in, doesn't mean that it's the end. But when you want something so badly, I've seen situations where, I was watching this the other day. Every now and then I have to watch what I like to call silly television. So for some reason I looked up Bebe's Kids, and the part in the amusement park, and the one friend is telling the other, like, but he still loves you though. That man did not want her, but we will tell ourselves, he liked me, because I remember that time when we first met about 10 years ago, and he told me, "Child, if you don't move on, that man rejected you 10 years ago, and you still out here trying to force him to want you, and he's clearly moved on and don't want you. So move on." It is a real deal. Okay, Keisha, we see you. Keisha says she on driving and listening. Yep, our topic tonight is, why does it still hurt so much? And these are the reasons. Oh, I did not mean to do that. These are the reasons. We have all of these reasons. We have loss of loved ones, failed relationships, past pain experiences, rejection, and we are dealing with the pain, the pain, the pain. And it's a painful existence, a painful experience. But there's a reason why we're still feeling it. And I'm gonna go ahead and pass it on. See, I'm going every which way but loose. Fire the PowerPoint presenter.
Oh, that's all right. Okay. We have it on replay. We have a tendency to replay things over and over in our head. And when we replay stuff in our head, we add stuff and then we subtract stuff. So most of the time, the way you remember it or the way you replay it in your head is most of the time not the way it happened, but we'll tend to we'll add something to it. So, because we want to make sure that we get the desired effect on what we are replaying in our head. So the first thing we look at is, he loves me not. When I was growing up, we used to get a flower and we would pull the petal off and we would say, he loves me not, he loves me. So when you get to that last petal, you hope it does not say he don't love me.
I just go get another flower.
Yeah, that's right. That was say we start all over again. And that's, and I've even gotten where I counted the petals, like, aha, I'm gonna get my desired effect that he gonna love me. And so that's how we are.
You also get one with 5 petals.
Yeah, like, wait a minute. No, I'm gonna get it like that. And so that's how we are. And I mean, it's funny, but it's sure enough true. We love people that really don't love us, really don't love us the way we want them to love us. It's such a pitiful thing to see people, and I've seen people when I know doggone well the way that man treats you, he can't. But we still believe. We believe. I remember when I was married. Well, I'm married now, but with my ex-husband, and I used to believe. I said, God, I trust you. And I mean, I was one of them die hard, all on my face, praying and trusting. Listen, I mean, that other stuff, and it's fine. And I used to play in my head how we're gonna have this wonderful life, and we can just travel the world, and I'm gonna go preach, and he gonna be there clapping. And he loves me. He loves me not. But and sometimes when we lose somebody, we are grieving at the loss of the future you planned. Everything has changed, and you need to plot a new way of life. Especially think if you've been with somebody 10, 20, 30 years.
That is so true. And then we start dreaming, and we already planned out the future. You already
planned it out.
You painted your own picture.
Yes. And so now he loves you not. So now you're grieving over the loss of what could have been, or what would have been, or what should have been. And then you lose that support of that someone who once upon a time cared about you deeply. Sometimes it's hard to adjust to them not being you there. I know when I was talking to my ex, but when he went to prison, it took me a while to adjust, because we had been married for several years, and I would hear a car. Now I knew he was incarcerated, but I would hear a car would jump, because I got so used to a way of life. And so when somebody leaves you or walk away or whatever, they love you not, then it's hard for you to readjust. And for some people, some people never never learn how to live without that situation. They never learn how, they just live, but they never enjoy life, because it's almost like if that person's not in your life, you can't breathe, you know. And it's that he loves me not, but then there's a fear of never being loved again. You know, when that relationship ends, you scared you can never love again. And then the problem is, because like you alluded to earlier, because of what somebody did to us, we are no, you're right, you will, nobody gonna love you again the way you act. Nah. You know, because you're still carrying that baggage. We're walking around, we got about 3 or 4 suitcases packed, and we refuse to unpack the suitcase and move forward. We still think, you know, that this maybe one day, it's a situation where I won't call the name, where somebody ex-husband, they were really believing and trusting God that they would get back together. Oh, God is going to bless them. What happened? He married somebody else. So, you know, that was a prime situation. He loves me not. So we replay in our head over and over what we think should happen, what we feel should happen. And there are times now when we are in relationship, they're beautiful. They start out wonderful. You know, everything just, you know, you just skipping through the flowers, you know, and just, but then all of a sudden the bottom drops. Whether it's somebody dies, whether it's somebody who leaves. In my case, you know, he was incarcerated. You know, there's so many ways of really having somebody leave you, because even with my ex, he left, but it was a death. It was a spiritual death for me, because he was not there and he was not coming back for at least 20 years. So that was, you know, that it was very difficult. He loves me not. We go through it. Do he love me? Yeah, he love me not. So we struggle with that. We're trying to find our identity. So I think one of the problems is you got to love yourself enough.
Exactly.
That if somebody else stopped loving you, you still can live. So if everything you have is wrapped up in a person, when they leave, then that means you're not. Then you feel like you're nothing, because everything you had, you've wrapped up in that person. So I would suggest for anybody who's single, love you.
That's
love
right.
you first. You know, and get to the point like, okay, I don't want it to happen, but can I survive if it do? You know, and I didn't think I could make it. I did. I you know, I didn't think I could not for a long time function, because that was my life. All of a sudden it was interrupted. And that's what happened with death. You know, with your mother, all of a sudden, you know, my mom was there 2 weeks, she was gone. And it was like, it took a while to process that. And so if you, like Anita said, if you've never been there, you know, you really don't know. It's something you can't articulate. It's something you can't put into words. It's something you can't make nobody else understand. Depending, of course, on your relationship with your mother too. You know, what type of relationship, because there are a lot of people who are estranged or whatever. But he loves me not. So, you know, we have to learn how to get past that. But then we have the green-eyed monster. The green-eyed monster is when you're dealing with an overwhelming jealousy. You know, a destructive emotion. When you're jealous, and jealousy there's a root to jealousy. There's a root, that there are roots to jealousy. One is lack of confidence, because if you're confident in who you are, you don't have to be jealous of somebody else because of what they have. You know, self-confidence causes you to have jealousy. Another root is poor self-esteem, how you view yourself. You know, because we have a tendency to view ourselves based on what society say we should look like or be like, what our family think we should be like. I mean, when you look at you look at TV, look at all the pictures on social media, everybody is size 7, you know, and everybody long flowing hair. But reality, most of us are not size 7, and a lot of us don't have flowing hair left we go by. So, you know, we're the green-eyed monster will cause us not to be able to really, because we're talking about relationships, but we're also talking about your visions and your mission and your dreams, because you don't want that to cause you to be, you know, cause you not to reach your destiny. Your self-image, your fear. We are so scared of every doggone thing. Well, I got this one. Well, I'm scared. You know, if I walk out the door, you know, maybe something will happen. You know, I'm scared if I split the pole, this will happen. You know, we just superstitious, scared of everything. But the green-eyed monster has a way of rearing his or her ugly head and causes us not to be able to, number one, enjoy where we're going. And, you know, number two, not to really understand that get in the way of where we are trying to go. And then we have insecurities. You know, that jealousy get in the way. Even if even if you're in a relationship, and it may be a decent relationship, but because of jealousy, you know, I saw you and how you were looking at her, all kind of foolishness. You know, and you know, so that is some of the stuff that we have. We have that green-eyed monster with her ugly self. You know, we're jealous of the next person. We're jealous of what somebody had. You know what caused me to stop being jealous, because when I was thinking about it one day, and I'm always thinking about something, I'm like, but am I willing to do what they did to get what they have? So you're jealous of somebody, but you don't know what it takes for them to get it.
That's right.
You don't know what it takes for them to keep it.
That's right.
So, you know, jealousy will, you know, it replays in your mind. You begin to think, well, you know what? I looked, my neighbor across the street got a car. I don't understand. Well, I need me a car too. Well, you know, maybe they got more money than you. You know, and so in our mind, we begin to replay stuff over and over, you know, because I'm so guilty of, like, I replay my day. And that's how I know that when I replay my day, that my mind is not always telling the truth. Because some of that stuff I be replaying did not happen. But I replay it in my head. It happened because that's the way I wanted it to work out. So when that's what we have it on replay, constant replaying. You know, I'm jealous of her. I'm jealous of him. I don't like what she has. You know, we have to overcome that if we're going to be, with our brand, if we're going to be what we need to be. And not only that, we have Be Still My Beating Heart. It's an exclamation that sometimes is too exciting or overwhelming for one to bear. Literally, it causes one's heart to beat too fast. Sometimes we get excited about stuff that has nothing to do with us. And sometimes we're holding on to stuff that God told us to let go of. We get excited about a situation. We get excited about life. Because what happens a lot of time when you get excited, you get a distorted view of what was. The excitement distorts your view. God said one thing and something else is happening. And this you could lie to yourself that it was better than what your mind is telling you. See, your mind will tell you that if that relationship was good and you keep going back, but you know doggone well that man was not good. That woman was not good. But our mind, because of our beating heart, because of that desire, because we want something so bad. Have you ever been in a situation like, I don't know if you ever really love someone and they walk in the room and then, you know, you get that flood of that in your heart.
That little pattern. Make your heart go pitter-patter.
Yeah. And so what happens is it voids a reality of the truth. He was not that knight in shining armor that you thought he was.
No, he wasn't, honey, obviously.
Yeah, but because of our beating heart, because we want stuff so bad that we're willing to almost do anything to get it and anything to keep it. We want that man so bad, even though he's somebody else's husband. We want that situation so bad, that job so bad that we'll lie and undercut and undermine somebody else. So you have to say, be still my beating heart. Cause me to calm myself down so I won't tread into areas that I'm not supposed to tread into. And I often say one of the greatest accidents that happen on the road is when you drive in the wrong lane. And one of the problems is we're so busy in somebody else's lane, which causes accidents, and then we'll never recover and be who we've been called to be. And also that a beating heart causes the fear of abandonment. We're so scared that somebody's going to once they walk off, that we'll never recover. We're so scared that they're going to leave us. And how can I ever overcome? How can I overcome this man walking out and divorcing me? How can I ever overcome the death of a family member? How can I overcome the lies that my friend told? I mean, like Anita, I too had a friend I was very close to, and I was like taken aback because I was closer to this friend than I was to family. And so when somebody, the trust the trust is broken, it causes your heart to be broken. Because what you do, that's your road dog. That's the person you can go call in the middle of the night. That's the person that you tell secrets to other than God. That's the person that you laid out all on the table. And then all of a sudden you begin to hear stuff that you thought you only told to that person.
Right.
So be still, my beating heart. I have to calm myself down. I have to get in line. I have to get myself together. And that's in my mind, is constantly replaying. Why did I tell that chick that? Why did I become vulnerable? Why did I put it all on the table? We put it on replay all the time.
Wow.
I'm sorry, my computer looking like saying it's gonna come out, but let me go through this.
It's okay.
Okay, let it go. Let it go. So we have to learn how to just let it go. It takes time. I wrote a quote a while ago. It said, "Learn to live life on purpose and not by accident." You have to learn how to live again. It takes time. It don't happen overnight. But one of the first things you have to do if you're going to live again, you got to forgive yourself. We are walking around still blaming ourselves for whatever that was that happened. It wasn't your fault. It wasn't your fault. Be your own source of validation. Make sure you realize who you are and whose you are. Realize that it's time to trust yourself again.
You know what? I was thinking about something, and it's like I had looked something up when I was looking over this earlier, and that when I got into your points about letting things go and how it takes time. And one of the things that I thought about is that a lot of times we go back and forth in that replay mode. And all that does is that it mixes our old hurt and our new hurt together. And we become stuck on replay. And because what happened is one hurt reminded us of another hurt. And out of that, our lives, we get to that. We talked about this a long time ago about that groove in a broken record. And we're on replay. We just have that pain on repeat, and it keeps digging and digging and digging. And it makes even the old pain feel fresh. So it's like it's backed up, and it reminded me of a dam holding back that water. And what happens with us is that we become that wall, and we dam up our feelings. And when you look at that word, y'all know me, when you look at that word in one state where we're talking about a dam holding the water back, that word dam is a noun. It's in the tense of a noun, like a person, place, or thing. But when we talk about how we dam up or we block our feelings, we block ourselves from relieving ourselves from those problems. We just block ourselves. That means that in that sense, we have damned ourselves by putting up a barrier. And all of the pain that we're holding, and that I'm gonna plug this so she don't even realize it. All of the pain that we've been holding on the inside is there. And what we've done is that we've just blocked it, and it's just holding it back, and it's building up pressure. And with anything with enough pressure, it can break if it gets built up. And that's what you don't want to happen. You don't want to block all of that stuff to the point that that the dam breaks. The best thing to do is to open the levees of your heart and allow it to run out. And it's still going to run out, and it's going to run out fast because you didn't overnight just put up the dam. That dam has been there, and it's been holding all of these pain, all of that pain and all of that hurt in. And then you ask yourself, why does it still hurt so much? It's because you have never let it go. You haven't let it go. You just damned it. You blocked it. And it's been building up and building up and building up over time. And every time there's another hurt that goes in, it makes all of the other pains feel fresh. And it just aggravates and just keeps stirring up all of the pain. And you could very well have gotten past some of that stuff, but the other stuff still hurts so much because you're still holding on to it. The dam has blocked it. It's completely blocked. So instead of allowing it to break, because if we go back to what happened in New Orleans with the hurricane, the levees broke. And it's not controllable. You can't control it when the levees break. You're not prepared for that. But when you unplug and you prepare for that water to go somewhere else, you can release some of the pressure by opening the levees and letting the water flow. You got to let that pain flow. You have got to let it out. And it takes time. It doesn't, like she said in her point, it doesn't happen overnight. It's something that you have to put into motion, and you have to prepare yourself for it. That I'm releasing this. I'm letting this go. I'm going to continue to go through her stuff because I don't know where she is and whether or not she is finding her cord. And I could tell what she was doing. And it looks like she's unplugged her modem again. Because she was messing with cords, and all of a sudden she just went off. So her next one was Let the Sun Shine In. I have no idea what Annette was going to say, but I'm just going to run through it on my own because we do our own study. But this was one that we had discussed earlier about how, if you were here in the beginning, I played through the songs, and one of the songs was Joy and Pain. That our pain is not designed to last always. It doesn't last the whole time, our whole life. Remember, once we go through replay, let it go, because we don't have to keep replaying the same thing. Because the Bible says weeping endures for a night, but joy comes in the morning. When Frankie Beverly is singing, he's saying joy and pain are like sunshine and rain. It doesn't rain every day because eventually the sun is going to shine. So we just, and we'll sit back in the dark like that lady on, what was the movie, Fatal Attraction, turning the light switch on and off, on and off, on and off. Either you're going to stay in the dark and flicker the light switch on and off, or you're going to get up and you're going to open up the blinds and allow the sun to come in. Get out of that rainy place, out of that dark place. Here she comes. I'm going to let her go right on into her point. And that, we've been laughing at you. Annette? Annette, can you hear us? Oh, Lord, she didn't have her sound. She's got to turn her mic on.
Hello?
There you are.
Yeah, my computer cut down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry. I
had just come up to that one point. I was just sharing something because I wasn't sure. I said, I don't know what she's going to say, but I'm going to go ahead and go to Let the Sun Shine In. So you can pick up right there.
Okay, sorry about that, y'all. Okay. Wow. Look at Londa. Hush, Londa. Anyway, you know what, Nita? Can you see me on here?
I can see you. I can see you.
Oh, well, praise the Lord. Okay. I can't see none of my phone. Sorry, y'all. I apologize for that. Anyway, it's Let the Sun Shine In. There was a saying by Helen Keller said, keep your face to the sun and you will never see the shadows. So I love that. When I saw that, your face to the sun and you will never see the shadows. So let the sun shine and open those curves and begin to enjoy life. Life is too short. Sometimes we allow situations to cause us to really ball up in a knot, and we said, it's over for me. I'll never love again. And it's something about, when we are really depressed or sad, we always want to get in a little dark room in a corner somewhere and war. But open the curtains, sun will shine again. Yeah, you're hurting now, but you won't be hurting always. We want to encourage you to let the sun shine in. You got to live every day with a fresh new start. I get up every morning. I know today looks like yesterday, but it's brand new mercies every day, and that's what the Bible says. So I try to get up every day with a positive attitude. I'm not saying every day it's gonna, you're gonna be, jumping up and down, but if you look at your day as a new opportunity to get it right. If you didn't put yesterday, then you got another day, another opportunity to get it right. And if you really look and see what's going on even in our communities and even in this country, people are leaving, people are getting killed, people are dying. So I told God, I said, whatever time I have left on this earth, I want to live life to the fullest. If I get knocked down, I'll just get up and brush myself off and keep it moving. And you got to be true to who you are. Know who you are. Be comfortable in your own skin. Quit complaining all the time. Quit complaining. Come on. I know it's rough. Yes. Yeah. But every now and then say, you know what? It's all right. I'm saying, I don't know. Quit complaining. Let the sun shine in. Enjoy life. Be proactive. It's up to you. It's up to you for your brand. It's up to you for your life. It's up to you to make a difference in your community. So be proactive rather than think next time. Okay, I get it done this time, but wait, next time I'll do it. It didn't work out this time, but next time, no, I didn't finish. We were doing some things. It didn't pan out yet, but next time it will. So you gotta let the sun shine in. Be bright. Be focused. When you go around people, don't always be so dark. Like, if everything bad gonna happen, it's gonna happen to me. Well, how about you make a change? Create your own opportunities. Live life each day as if it is your last day, because it very, very well could be. So let the sun shine in. And wake up and say, you know what? This is the day. It didn't happen, but it's gonna happen today. So we have to make sure that we let the sun shine in and know that it's gonna be all right. Regardless of what it looks like, it's gonna be all right. You're, like we said earlier, you're not the only person. We all have gone through something. We all have had some times when we didn't know how we were going to make it. But if you get a positive attitude, even in a situation that may not be good, I guarantee you your day will turn around. Your situation may not turn around then, but your outlook can turn around. So let the sun shine in. So also we need to raise from the ashes. To raise from the ashes, to make a comeback after a disaster that almost led to a tragic end. Ashes means mourning. It means a time of crying. It means a time of disappointment. Rise means to emerge, to get up, to arise from the ashes, to make a comeback. But in order to get up from where you are, in order to come from the ashes, you got to acknowledge that things are not right at the moment. The best way to deal with a problem is to face it. By facing it means to acknowledge it. Acknowledge that you have a problem. Acknowledge there's some things you need to do. But if you do that, then find and focus on the solution. Once you're done with admitting that you got an issue, find a way to work it out. Find a way to rise above a situation. Just because you're in the ashes and just because you've had a situation don't mean that you have to be down. Avoid excuses. Avoid say, I ain't gonna never do anything. I'm just gonna take this vision and I'm gonna take this mission and I'm gonna take this brand. It's never gonna amount to anything. I've been doing this for 3 years and it's still nothing's happening. But no, avoid the excuses. So what if it's been 3 years? Maybe tomorrow is the day. And just like Nike say, just do it. sometimes we need to stop talking about it and just do it. We've been talking about, in fact, when we started the movement, we had been talking about it and talking about it and talking about it. So, but now it's time to do something. Just do it. And next, pull yourself up. Standing up again requires a lot of courage and strength, but this is the ultimate test of endurance.
Mm-hmm.
So pull yourself up, rise up, emerge from your ashes, make a comeback. I know it didn't look well last year, and I know it didn't look well year before last, but I declare and I speak prophetically on this night, you can get up again. You can emerge. You can pull yourself up and overcome anything that you've been through. My computer conked out, and I was very annoyed. But you know what I did? I put it over in the corner, and I came and got this phone, but I can barely see it. But I said, you know what? I will not be defeated. I will not. So we got to pull ourselves up and make a comeback. And next, we need to take up your bed. In John 5:8, Jesus told the lame man, he said, arise, take up your bed and walk. He was calling the lame man to action. There are so many of us who are lame. We're sitting waiting like that man. But God said, it's time to call to action. It's time for you to get up. It's time to you to see. First, you got to get up. Then when you get up, you got to take that thing that you've been laying around on, take that vision, take that brand. See, because you've been sitting there, you've been laying by the pool of Bethesda, just went saying because ain't nobody could take you and get you in the water. Well, get up yourself. And you know what? I was thinking about that text. I said, you know, he could have rolled in the water all that time. You know, he was just rolling. But anyway, that's for another day.
But instead, he was just laying there by the pool.
Just laying there, and that's how we are. We got a brand and a mission and a vision, and we're just laying there. And said, now he said, get up and take that bed, take that vision, take that mission, take that brand, and walk. Walk means that you're doing something, that you're progressing. So I see that he's calling us to action, and that's what I'm doing today. I'm calling you to action, to get rid of your excuses. Never get bogged down on what was, but focus on what can be and will be and shall be. Leave behind your old perceptions and deceptions, because you perceive something, but what you see is a deception. So you can't rise because you're looking at what somebody told you you couldn't do, and that was a deception. But I declare, if you look forward and get up and walk, you can do it. Get rid of habits and attitudes that are self-serving and is out of the alignment to your vision. See, because we have a vision and it's aligned a certain way, but because of our attitude, because of our fear, because of our doubt, we don't get up, we don't move, we don't go to the next level. Because even when you get up, if you fall, that's okay. Brush your little self off and keep it moving.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been called to action. Get up and do something productive that would allow you to put your gifts and talents to good use. Arise, take up that vision, that bed, that mission, that dream, that book, that school. Take it up and walk. Walk into your destiny. So let it go. It's time to let it go. It takes time to let it go. Let it go. It takes time. Let it go. Let it go.
Type that in.
Let the sun shine in. I think the Fifth Dimension sang something about, yeah, the sunshine something years ago. Y'all know nothing about that. I'm much older than y'all.
Type in let it go. Type in let it go.
Yeah, let it go.
It's the only way it's going to go.
Rise from your ashes, from your heartaches, from your disappointments. Arise, and take up your bed and walk. But get up.
Go. And that's true though, because when you logged off, I was talking about that dam and how we dam ourselves. We block everything on the inside and hold it in. But when we open the levees of our heart, we let that stuff out. And that's the only way that we're going to get past a lot of this stuff. Because
Yeah.
we identified the pain, we talked about having it on replay and how we continue to roll around in the pain. And we talked about letting go of the pain, because at the end of the day, you know, even though it might seem like there isn't, but there's life after the pain. You don't have to stay in the pain. And there's some pain, like we talked about, there's some things you will probably never be completely over. You know, those are those hard losses. You know, so there's something, and you will still feel a little bit of the sting, but it will not stay in the same state. Because when we're weeping, even when we're weeping and grieving over the loss of loved ones and situations like that, you know, it's okay to cry. Jesus wept, but we just don't cry as though there's no hope. Mr. Curry used to talk about that all the time, that it's okay to cry, but just don't cry as though there's no hope. Because weeping only endures for a night. Joy is coming. But you have, you know, and I had to learn, there was a time that I used to be wallowing and crying and whining and weeping and holding on to and mad and all of the stuff that we talked about, how when somebody hurt you or betray you, and then I got that venom and I became bitter and all of that stuff. I had to learn how to pull myself up from that and do like David. I had decided a long time ago in my life that I wasn't going to allow situations, especially other situations like that, you know, loss and death and things like that. Those are things that you have to pray yourself through, and over time you will get better. You'll learn how to live. Your life will go on, and you learn how to live without that person. But when it's betrayal and those things that we talked about under the identifying the pain, we were talking about those hurts and church hurt and friendship hurt and all that stuff. I had to give myself 2 days. I made it a practice, like David. And this was after the loss of a son. The son was conceived in sin, but after he lost that son, he went and wept for 2 days on his face. Then he got up and washed his face and went and worshiped and went on about his business. And that's what I had to learn to do. I put a time limit. You will not get 3 and 4 weeks of my tears. You don't deserve that. You might not get one. But
Amen.
you'll probably get me being mad and pitiful and feeling sorry for myself for maybe a day and a half, maybe. But I'm done with it after that. And when I'm done with it, I'm done with it. Because it's at that point that I know that I'm over it.
That's right.
When you're
Yes.
over it, you know, this is the key. Of course, you know, what you have to do is transform how you think about the situation. Remember, everything that will have, become, be, or do, it starts in our mind. You have to transform your mind. You have to renew your mind about that situation and say, this is how I'm going to think about it. This is where I'm going to put it. I'm going to bury it, and I'm done with it. And I even pray sometimes when I'm hurt, because it's hard. You get that lump in your throat and that feeling in the pit of your stomach, and you want it to go away. And I pray sometimes when I'm betrayed or bothered by something, I be praying, God, please remove the sting. Please remove the sting. You're the God that removed the sting of death. Please remove this pain from me. I don't want to feel this when I wake up in the morning. And I might feel it the next day, and I pray that day, okay, God, I feel it a little less, but take it away completely. Because I have to consciously choose to shift my perspective of the situation so that I could see it differently. And then I empower myself through that process. Because I become empowered because I want God to just remove that stuff and to allow me to move in the things that I'm supposed to. I don't need that stuff to hinder my progress. Because at this point, and when I can say I'm over it, I'm over it. I'm done with it. I don't want to revisit it. I even sometimes don't like to talk about it no more, but you know, I might, because there's a testimony in it, and you know, you can help somebody else. And you know, God help you if I don't call your name. I pray about that one. I ain't perfect. So when you get to that process, and you can, you know, this is the life after. This is life. There is life after the pain. And we told you this, the reason why it hurt so much, why it still hurt, is because you have to identify it, you have to take it off replay, and then you have to let it go, and you have to embrace the life after. Yes, you're over it, but you're still going to have scars. But there are scars to your beautiful. You are who you are because of the wound, the battle wounds, and the scars that you have received in that warfare. These are the experiences that taught you the valuable lessons, the lessons of how to live better, the lessons of how to help others. Not that others' experiences will be the same as yours. Like I said, in your situation, the way you deal with something or the way something came when you might hurt you differently. Your divorce was different from my divorce. You losing a child is different from me losing a child. You losing a parent is different from me losing a parent. But in all of our stories, there is something that can help somewhere else.
That's
so
true.
The beautiful thing about it is when you can overcome that, you have become an overcomer of the situation that you've been in. Now those are the scars to your beautiful. Yes, I'm wounded. Yes, there's a Band-Aid on my heart, but that heart is pretty. There's a bandage on the heart down below because guess what? There was a wound there. And even when we remove the bandage, sometimes there's a scar. But it does not dictate who you are. It's your story. And in the process of your story, sometimes we go to that old thing. That old thing, like I say this sometimes because sometimes I can't even remember. Have you ever been through a situation and then you can't remember when you got over it?
Yes.
I have had that with both physical and emotional pain.
Yes.
I have had physical pain when my broke self couldn't afford insurance. And I had some stuff going on. I'm like, I don't know what's going on with my arm, but I can't lift it and I can't move my thumb. But I would just take authority. And I'm like, I'm just taking authority. People look at me like I'm crazy, like, you taking authority. I am. That's all I can do. I have no money to go to the doctor. And it's not worth me going to the emergency room over I don't think. I don't feel anything that makes me feel like I need to go. I think it's probably carpal tunnel or tendonitis. I'm like, how you know? I don't. And then all of a sudden, it stopped hurting. I don't know when. I'm like, oh, my arm don't hurt no more. Oh, I ain't even bothered by that no more what she did. Oh, that's crazy. It's crazy now that I look back and think about it. I don't even know why I was mad in the first place. Because you know what? Your soul looks back and wonder how you got over. That's because you've been delivered from it. And sometimes you look back, can't even pin the day or the time. And at the time you were going through it, you probably thought you were going to die. Oh, I'm not going to make it. Oh, God, help me. Oh, Lord. And sometimes we stay on replay right there because, we're feeling sorry for ourselves. We're angry and we're hurt. And we want everybody to feel the way we feel. Oh, God, help me, Lord. Shut up. Shut up. Take it off replay. Let it go. And understand that there is life after it. Yes, you are still breathing. That means you got stuff to do. You don't have time to wallow in the pain. Okay, he hurt you. Okay, he left you. Okay, she talked about you. She spread rumors about you. She stepped on your toe. They wrecked your car. They burned your house down. They did whatever. All of those things happen, yes. But there's life after the pain. You lost your loved one, you grieve. You take your time. Don't let nobody tell you how long you can grieve. But you don't grieve as though there's no hope, because there is hope. Yes. Weeping only endures for a night, but joy comes in the morning. And before you know it, even with that, you will say, my soul looks back and wonder, how did I get over that? How did I learn how to live without him? How did I learn how to live without her? I didn't think it was possible for me to live without this person, but God always knows. He was not going to put more on you than you can bear. Believe him when he says that. Don't just go to church and slob and get your praise on and twist during the offering. Get something out of it. Remember to put the word in and apply it to your life. Don't just sit there and listen and take up space. Or for those who do St. Mattress, Church of God in Christ, Baptist Full Gospel. For those who do that, don't be wasting up your internet time just listening and sucking in the vibe. Take the word for what it says. Take God at his word. He will not put more on you than you can bear. The reason you're going through it is because he knows that you can make it. He would not allow it if you couldn't. And then once you get to that place too, life after the pain, and you all the way on the other side, you realize there's a blessing on the other side of through. I made it through this. The blessing is that you made it to the other side and you have survived it. You're a survivor. And the thing is, I want you all to be encouraged because I understand what it's like to hold on to the pain. I've been in a position where I've held on to some things too long. And it messes with your thought process. It messes with your productivity. You find yourself in a rut and you can't finish anything. And it's like, why do I always have financial problems? Oh, God, oh, God. Okay, well, let go of the old way of doing things and go and take some classes and learn how to save your money and learn how to make your money work for you. I just took one the other day with Brenda. Ha, 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 ha. Learn something. She learned me something, y'all. So go and learn yourself something. So the old people say, I learned you something. Brenda learned me something the other day. So take all of the information. Don't just suck up the space. Take the information. And we feel sorry for ourselves. And sometimes we want to hold on. Like we talk about holding on to the pain of somebody hurting you. Let it go. Rise from the ashes. Let the sun shine in. Come out that dark house. Stop doing like this. Like the lady on Fatal Attraction. Turn the light switch on and off. Come out that dark room and open those blinds. You feel me, Brenda? Open up the blinds. There's a beautiful sunshine outside and you need some vitamin D anyway. Open the blinds and let the S-U-N and the S-O-N shine. You around here calling yourself, well, I don't guess I'm a Christian. But you're always looking like you're sucking on lemons because you're mad or you're sad and you're allowing all of those emotions to stir up behind the dam. You have dammed it up. And that's a transitive verb, which means your deliverance on the other side of the dam. Now, there is a dam there, but you have dammed yourself up, transitive verb, and your deliverance is in opening the levees of your heart and allowing that dam to release all of that pressure. Let it go. Let it go, because there is life after the pain.
That's right. Let it go.
Let it go. Let it go.
That has a physical. It causes physical problems too when you hold on to stuff.
Exactly. High blood pressure, heart problems, strokes, and everything else, all because you won't let something go.
Yeah. Because
you're just determined to be a perpetual, what do they call it? Perpetual mourner. You just want to be sad all the time and cry.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Annette, I'm not going to mention the name because Annette know who you're talking about, but there was a particular church we used to go to, and there was a lady every Thanksgiving. I used to cringe when she would stand up because she wanted to be sad on Thanksgiving. That's not the day to be sad. So she'll stand up and be like, it's been a very hard year. Oh, God. I just want to melt under the pew because I was so upset. I'm like, why does she want everybody to cry every Thanksgiving? I don't want to cry because this is about giving thanks. Yes, some of us may not have the loved ones with us that were with us the year before, but we're here and I'm grateful for today. I'm so thankful that I have this and that. Those are tears of joy. Not to stand up there and have this little pity party. It's been a very hard year. Oh, God. I used to be like, blah, 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 because I just didn't want to hear her talk about her recently. But, and there are some people who are like that. Some people want to have that conversation every time you strike up a conversation. Well, how you doing? Oh, God. Oh, my goodness. Them the ones always in the prayer line. At some point, you need to be delivered. You don't need Elder Sharon Green to pray for you every time about the same thing. We know she's an intercessor, but I'm sure she don't want to have the same prayer with the same person week after week after week after week, unless it's about deliverance. There are some people who might need that. If they need deliverance and you come into deliverance prayer, you're going to come there till you get it. But if you're in church every Sunday for 20 years and every prayer line you in it, something's wrong. There's some stuff you need to let go because you won't have to be in the prayer line every single service. You make room for somebody else. I'm sorry if I'm coming across kind of mean, but I've seen it. And it's annoying. And I want us to get past this, because guess what? This is real stuff. And like we said in the beginning, I've been there. And you are not alone. You are not alone. Trust me. I have been one of them same people I'm fussing about. I understand. And it had to come to a point that I had to make a decision that I was not going to pick that same problem up and take it back with me after I just laid it on the altar.
Yeah.
That I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to pray about it. I'm going to let it go. And guess what? Life went on. I am 51. And I'm happy. I'm at peace. And I don't even think about that problem anymore on a daily basis. When it's brought up, I might get a little spark, like, you know what? Because you know what? That's one of those battle scars. It's a battle scar. There's a scar there that will probably never leave me as far as the scar is concerned, as far as the memory, but I'm not affected by it because the wound been healed a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right.
Wow. That was a good one, Annette.
Yes.
I like this. I like this one. How y'all feel? I'm going to stop the recording because for some reason y'all just don't want to say nothing because y'all know I'll be recording. And some people, who that just jumped off? Somebody jumped off because he thought I was
Ebony. It was Ebony.
Thought I was going to call her name. Maybe she'll be back.
Well, just